comes and gives her remarks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What an introduction. Thank you so much. Government representative in the House, all protocol observed because I'm late. I'm not able to register those that are in the House. The development partners in the House, members of the press in the House, and survivors and members of survivors of sexual violence network, and the new members of CASV. Good morning. Correctly put, I am a member of parliament representing Githunguri constituency, which is in Kiambu. I also served as a women rep. I wish I had time. I would answer the questions that you had concerning the role of a woman rep, elected in Kiambu County between 2017 and 2022. God gave me the grace to serve again as a member of parliament for my home constituency. I am the outgoing chair for Kewapa. I am the current chair of the Constitution Oversight and Implementation Committee of the National Assembly, and I'm also the current chair of Coffee Caucus in the National Assembly. I'm proud to be here. I am a mother, I'm a leader, and most importantly, I am a citizen of this country. I am very humbled to see you here. The men in the house, you have humbled me. Thank you for coming in, standing in, and being part of this network. Wango happens to be my personal friend. I just love her. I love the energy behind her. I love the zeal. I love her personality. She's a go-getter. And I've actually been consulting her on so many things pertaining sexual violence. I knew her when I was serving on the radio platform many years ago, when I used to handle cases of sexual violence on radio. I didn't know any safe house. I didn't know what to do. And I remember that's the time I got in touch with the feeder people, the crew people, the Kelin people, the IMLU team. I've worked with you quite a lot when I was on radio. And I'm happy to see that now you're coming together as a coalition. You're coming together as a big voice, a big body. And I think that's the way to go. I also run a foundation called GAM Africa, which is my foundation, the arm that I use to help people. GAM Africa means Gathoni, Muchomba, Africa Foundation. It's an old foundation, and my work has been empowering livelihoods, and I've handled quite a lot of cases of sexual violence. And I realized all of us are getting into sexual violence, but we are not able to segregate the issues of sexual violence into small sections that can help us fundraise. And I was telling my sister Wango, next year, I'm going to carry her in my handbag, and we are going to go with her to New York for the CSW, because I think the people who get platforms to go and speak on behalf of our country, Kenya, I'm sorry, but I am one of those members of parliament that speak the truth. Can I say it? Yes. Should I say it? Yes. They don't do what they're supposed to go and do there. Because issues of sexual violence, gender abuse, domestic violence that are happening in Kenya are never reported out there. People don't talk. We only go there and say how we are struggling with the boy child. You know, and you talk about boy child, and you have an international platform, and you're not saying what are the numbers. How many girls have we lost at the university platform, for example? Yes. What is the government doing with B and B? Inaitwa B to B or B and B? B and B. What are the numbers? And what is the government going to do? And what is the development partners are supposed to do? And what is it that we need to go forward? But every time I sit, like I was in CSW in New York last week, but one, when I saw my minister speak, I saw my PSA speak. I was like, hell is this? We just come here to just occupy the seat with the branded minister, PS, Sijui, and we don't talk numbers. We must talk numbers so that we can be able to get the right support we need for our own people. You know, they call me activist. They call me, but I speak the truth, and that is the truth. Now, the other day, you people mobilized yourself without any government support. You held a big demonstration in this town, complaining about SGBV, complaining about extreme murders of our young girls. After the demos, what next? What next? The government was shy to come and support you because they have avoided the errors of omission and the errors of commission by the government. Yes. We launched a gender desk in every police station. Ask me in my constituency, are the gender desks still active? We launched with Wango has worked very hard to establish a call center. I'm sure you know. How much has the government supported that call center for people to report cases through that call center? Let's call a spade a spade. It's time to revamp the movement of making sure there is no more death associated with domestic violence, gender violence, sexual violence, and any other violence against the people of Kenya. And you are the people who are going to do that. So how do we bring back the civil society spirit and voice? When I was 19, this country was being controlled. That is the year 1999, all the way to about 2003. The civil society dictated what Parliament is going to debate in the afternoon. Can I take it again? Yes. The civil society dictated the business of the National Assembly. When members of Parliament would always wait to hear what the civil activists are saying on matters gender, on matters economy, on matters budget, on matters agriculture. The spirit of the civil society in this country is dead. You need to revive it. You need to bring it back. You need to speak strongly so that we can budget along your voices. Can I ask a question? I hope I'm not taking much of your time. How much money have we allocated to matters gender? How much? Every year, whenever we want to review budget, the first item that goes is anything to do with the gender campaign. Gender. In fact, the weakest minister within president's cabinet is always thrown in the gender docket. Do I say it? That means the Ministry of Gender is always seen as a by the way ministry. And when it comes to budget allocation, even in Parliament, we fight so hard to get money allocated to activities around gender issue. Because I don't know where this notion came that gender is women. Who said gender is women? We need to do a lot of sensitization. I am happy that the men in the house have realized that gender is not women. And that is why they are here. Let's appreciate the men in the house. So I am here not to whine with you and to complain with you, but to challenge you. To tell you, let us unite, let us come together, let us create such forces of coalition so that whenever you talk, your voice is amplified and people cannot afford to ignore you. Now, I have realized that is a window that we have always forgotten. The window of women going through torture. I call them the invisible wounds of women coming out of delivery room, maternity wards, having gone through trauma, having gone through physical torture, and they have no platform to talk about it. Some of them were coerced into procedures, but they don't know how to talk about it. They suffer alone inside. So I launched a campaign called Heshimu Uzazi. I'm sure you've seen something to do with the OBV, obstetric violence. I have been running that campaign, and I'm so glad that I've gotten a lot of support, especially from the development partners, the NGOs, and I am very much positive to work with the people who are in this room to propel that campaign to another level. In fact, I have already introduced a motion in the National Assembly to debate so that we can come up with a national policy on obstetric violence in Kenya. That is the role of members of Parliament in such coalitions. I'm sure you have so many loops, open loops, that you would want members of Parliament to assist you in making laws that are going to help. For example, to what extent have we done gender mainstreaming in this country? We have been struggling with the issue of two-thirds forever. We have debated 13 times. And every time we debate, the motion dies. We can never go the right way without gender mainstreaming. We can never budget for gender activities and gender issues if we don't have gender mainstreaming. Therefore, we cannot gender mainstream if we don't have laws that support and policies. So I would request that as you form coalitions, identify pillars of lawmakers who can support your movement so that you can gain both on the funding, operations, and anchor your activities around the laws and policies that will help you. So I'm hoping that once we debate on OBV, obstetric violence, we are going to come up with a national policy that is going to guide every doctor, every nurse, every person who is in that theater when there is an operation on the protocols to use to not to violate the rights of women during birth and after birth. As we speak right now, I'm sure you know there's a crisis with doctors. So let us ask ourselves this question. How many women are delivering without assistance of doctors? How many women that are supposed to be going for surgery that have not gone? And if they do, what will happen? That is why we need to join up together, team up together, create amplify voices that are going to be heard by the government of the day, the lawmakers of the day, so that we can be able to achieve together. I am very excited to be invited here. Thank you, Wangu, for inviting me. My foundation is going to join this coalition so that I can add my little knowledge, my little capacity into the force of what you're trying to do. I have said again, I would want to see you take advantage of government opportunities to go and meet other people who can propel your activities. Every time there is a delegation of people from Kenya going to represent issues of Kenya, the civil society is missing. The government takes everything. I don't understand why a PS in charge of entrepreneurship, for example, would be going to CSW. I am not here to fight anybody, but I'm speaking the truth. The PS in charge of entrepreneur and small and medium enterprise goes to CSW for 2 weeks, while we have CSW, civil societies head here who are helping so much in the communities, and they need to be facilitated, not even to get the air ticket, at least to get recognition, a desk somewhere that so-and-so of Kenya is here to talk about that girl child in Masailand, about that girl child in Kajiado, that girl child in Kiambu. I can't wait to be a president in this country. I just can't wait. Because these are some of the things that we need to bring a turnaround, a paradigm shift, so that we can have a different approach on issues. As I sit down, my sister here, who is also an aspiring women rep in my county, Kiambu, has shown me something that has really caught my attention. When you guys took to the street and say, end femicide, you took to the street, and let me tell you, we were so ashamed. Some of us, like me, we were very ashamed. Because we looked desperate, we didn't know what to do, what to say. Because sometimes, you know, as politicians, we don't want to come and find ourselves in a situation where you're asking me a question on behalf of my president and I have no answer. So the best I can do is to run away, isn't it? Hata wewe ungefanya nini? Because you don't want to be roasted. Isn't it? Because it is pure government failure on some of these things. Regulation, control. So she's shown me something that she did. She posted a video on Instagram. A video about the whole procession of femicide. And her Instagram account was blocked. So that means somebody somewhere doesn't want you to talk about femicide. That is called technology sabotage. There are so many things that are happening under the table, including for some of us. It's only that we don't have platforms to talk about. Why would Instagram block a video on femicide in Kenya? It is because maybe the phone she's using is imported from a certain country that has already blocked that gadget from ever running a campaign of such nature. From that country. But this phone is brought in this country to be used in this country, but it's still being controlled from another country. Clap for me if I'm talking the truth. So those are some of the things we should actually be having these breakfasts more so often, so that such issues can come out, so that legislators and lawmakers like ourselves can pick up such matters and ask, why would you have a phone operating in this country and that phone is blocked from some certain campaigns that really are close to our hearts? You know, every day I post a video on OBV. Every day. And obstetric violence. I go to Kenyatta National Hospital and release mothers who are held there because of abuse. And those guys don't like me because I don't also pay. Would you pay? If you are Gathoni, would you pay? No. I just go and make noise, and that time I actually behave like a mad woman. You know, sometimes you don't want to reason with people when you want to to have your way. So you come and say, hey, I hear this hospital has 50 women. That time they are 5. 50 women locked up here with their babies, and they delivered, and you have refused to release them. Now I'm going to call the press. Then they are released. Who benefits? See, it's the women. Yeah. If we don't do what we are doing now, we will never progress. Allow us to use our madness in politics to create right platforms for you. So support some of us who have the intention to do good. We are frustrated by the system to do good, but we still struggle in our own spaces to do good. When you see me say no to finance bill, I am not mad. I know what I'm talking about. When I say no to finance bill because I don't find any Linda Mama there, and then I go to Kenyatta National Hospital and find the women apprehended there with their babies, I have a reason to continue saying no. So please support us. We may not be looking very good. We may not be speaking very well, but what we are doing, impacting the life of other people, is worth your support. Continue supporting us. Congratulations, Wangokaja and your team. Congratulations, the Network on Sexual Survivors Network. And well done for coming up together. The spirit of funders from New York during CSW is coalition, alliances, and coming together. So if you do this, I'm sure it will be easier next year to go looking for funding. So how many will go with me next year? Very good. Thank you. Oh, Wajah, your hand is, oh, okay. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, Mr. MC. Oh, Madam MC. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. With your permission, I beg to leave because I am...
Tunaona, tunasikia, na tutabonga. The voice.